Brian Powell of I Run Far here with Ruth Croft before the 2021 Grand Trail de Templiers. How are you, Ruth?
I'm doing well, thanks, Brian.
Yeah, you ran your first 100-miler back at Western States in June and have played it kind of cool since then.
Yeah, it was, I think, navigating the whole recovery post 100 miles was kind of new territory for me.
Yeah.
I had like a 3-week break and then got back into training. I was based in Sham. The plan was to do CCC. So I was there with my Terex teammates training, and like physically, like I felt decent. Obviously not like all cylinders firing, because you can't in that kind of such a short block, but physically felt decent. And then I think it was more mentally, like a bit of resistance to going to the well again, like to really like suffering. And so, but I still had kind of like talked myself like I was going to be okay for CCC. And then the week of, I got a stomach bug, and so I kind of had to pull the pin. But
probably in the end, better for you anyway.
I think so. I think there was a lot of like psychosomatic work going on there, and so I think it was a good thing that I didn't race there. And then since then, things have been like, I suppose it was about a month ago that I started feeling like mentally and physically back to my old self.
And your training went well kind of after CCC?
Like I've been training consistently apart from that block where I was sick. Like training has been going well. And then I was in Austria last month. We did the Adidas, the Infinite Trails with the Adidas Terex, and yeah, like it was good to be back in like a shorter race. And then I had a good block of training there with in Austria. And so then after that,
a shorter race with probably not a lot of pressure.
No pressure. It was just good to get out there and get in a race setting again.
Nice. Well, you were presumably training for Transvolcania.
I was, yes.
And which is a very different race, at least on paper, than Les Templiers.
It is.
How did you switch up your training? When did you make the call? Or
I made the call the week after Austria, so probably end of September, early October. I made the decision. It's just like I've been training, and I haven't done specific sessions like I did in 2017 when I prepped for this race, but I know the fitness is there. So I think if the fitness is there and my head's in good space, like that's the two main things you need.
Yeah, and you were training for a race of roughly the same distance.
Yeah.
There's probably not, the vert's probably not that far off. It just comes in a very different
format.
Form. Yeah,
it's like very rolling here, and I feel like with Transvolcania it's like one big climb and then a long descent, but here it's a bit more up and down. But I think it'll be okay.
Looking back at your win here in 2017, it was an incredible run. Like whether you look at your ITRA score or just like kind of, at least I would say comparatively, like one of your top runs. Do you think it was?
Definitely. Like it was a really stacked women's field. And for me, I just left my job and life in Taiwan to try and give running a bit more of a shot. And so it was kind of a confirmation that like, everything's going to be okay. So I was really happy with like the block that I did, and I trained very specifically for that race.
Yeah, and you executed very well on race day.
Like it all planned out on the day.
And good competition, like not just on paper ahead of the race, but like Ida Nielsen had a really good race that day. So
she did. She's there was Ida and Emily and like Mimi. There was a bunch of strong ladies. Yeah.
Do you feel like you didn't train as specifically, but do you feel like your fitness is at least close to on par as
I'm not sure. Like that was like the ideal prep. So I don't think it's as good as that, but I think it's, like I said, like I've been training consistently, and I think it is there. Yeah.
Who do you think you'll be watching out for in that women's field? Who's going to push you?
I'm not sure. Like it's interesting. There's is it Marta who won CCC?
Yep.
Yeah, she's racing. But then also a lot of these girls have raced quite a lot recently, so you don't know what they're going to be like on the start line either. So I think
they could be really sharp and fit, or
or
tired.
They could be tired. You never know. I just go out there, do my own thing, see what happens.
I'm pretty excited to be back at race, like a full-in race.
I'm like I think the main thing is that I'm like pretty mentally stoked to be on a start line, which I haven't had like post Western States, I don't think, and so it's good to be back in that space. And I kind of struggled last year. Like I still raced. I still came over to Europe and did some races, but I think I just never found any fitness last year. I never got into like a groove. Like I felt like you'd train for something and it get cancelled, kind of that feel. I think this year it's been just a lot more, everything's been a lot more certain. Like it's kind of back to normality in a sense.
Yeah. Cool. Well, good luck out there and have fun.
Thanks, Brian.